You're not gonna make it. No, you ain't gonna make it. You're not gonna make it, but you can. Welcome to You're Not Gonna Make It, the show where I discuss threats that may prevent you from making it. I'm Kevin. I really hope that if you're listening to the words that are coming out of my mouth, that you don't have to eat school lunches. There better not be any kids listening to this. But I know some parents might. So I want to talk about school lunches because they are dog shit. I know I describe most food in America as dog shit, but if the shoe fits, if I include other countries and their school lunches, it's going to be a vastly different discussion. So I'm going to stick to my country. I sincerely think that school lunches are a big reason why many kids are not going to make it in terms of their academic career. I'll explain why. First of all, just to let you know, I haven't been in school, elementary, middle, high school, for over a decade. Oh, Jesus, I'm actually including college in that. If we're talking just high school, it's been like 15 years? Christ. So anyway, about 20 years ago, it was the case that at the school lunch line, you can get extra food like fries. You pay an extra quarter. You can have them drown that shit in cheese. That was way too much power to be giving children, really. You give them the option of fries and you give them the option to add cheese soup in it. What do you think is going to happen? Now, back at the time, it was $1.25, maybe $1.50. Actually, I think it was $1.25, and then to get the cheese, it was $1.50. And then throughout the couple years in school, it raised. It went from $1.50 for the fries and then $1.75 for the cheese. I know the food wasn't good, but man, those prices, I miss those. And cost is one of the current challenges in this whole discussion. Apparently, 98% of school nutrition programs, which is all of them, are having issues with food costs. And the price of the breakfasts that are... I totally forgot. If you go to school early, for some schools, you actually get to have breakfast there too. I forgot about that. But I was never going to go to school early for breakfast. That's fucking absurd. But anyway, so for breakfasts, the prices are rising 11% recently. For lunch, about 5%. And of course, they passed the price gouging onto you. When I was getting lunch back in my day, I remember if you didn't get free lunch and you had to pay for it, it was $1.50. Which is wild now that I think about it, because those fries were almost as much as a full lunch. And to be honest with you, I cannot remember a single fucking meal that I had for school lunch. The only thing I remember are those quote-unquote pizzas that they had, the circles that were whatever. I don't know what that was really. It wasn't really pizza. It was a bit of bread with cheese on it, whatever that... I don't know what that was. That's all I remember, though. Anything else, I don't remember. I just remember the pizzas, and then they gave you some shitty milk sometimes. You know what's wild, too? If you want to go down a rabbit hole, you can look into this deeper, but basically, the milk industry, Big Milk, they were and possibly still are running something like a mafia on the school system, basically saying, hey, we have all this shitty low-quality milk because we inject the cows with so many steroids. We're going to need you to tell kids that milk is amazing and great and feed it to them all the time. Don't quote me on the specifics, but basically the reason why kids have so many milk cartons available at school is due to racketeering and shit. Just the milk mafia. The milk mob. That's not really great. I know a lot of people love milk and dairy and shit, but honestly, milk from cows, at least American cows, it's fucking bad, man. It's got a lot of growth hormone in that shit. Pretty sure that's why I went through puberty so early, because I drank a lot of milk when I was younger. I had a mustache at 10 and a half or 11. Honestly, people be better off drinking goat milk, sheep milk, or your mom's milk. But a cow's milk, American cow, for digestion, that shit's bad. It's a separate thing. Anyways, that touches on another one of the current challenges in this whole school lunch business. The nutritional gaps, aka how shitty the food is. I'm reading here, despite USDA standards, whatever those count for anyway, The meals often rely on processed foods, probably ultra processed foods, and about 2/3 of parents doubt the health value of these meals. Now, I don't want to be one of those people who says all processed foods are bad. There's some things they can be good if you process them, like fucking smoothies. I think they count. Like shit like that. It's not crazy. Food processor is not necessarily a bad thing, but with these ultra processed foods, because they're the way that they're made and mass produced, they cut a lot of corners, like all the corners. The shit's a circle. It's really not beneficial in any way, probably for your body, but it's really good for saving money and getting you to eat more. It might not be great for you, but probably tastes decent enough to eat more anyway. Apparently, there are new USDA rules that are mandating a reduction in sodium in the next 2 years and a limitation on added sugars. But I'm reading here that the implementation faces pushback. I wonder why. Probably due to money. But I wonder what that looks like. Hey, we want to reduce the insane amount of sodium and sugar in the kids' foods. They're like, no, why? It's probably cheaper to make it that way. I don't know. Or they're worried that kids just won't eat it. They'll be too picky. It's not salty or sweet enough. I worry what's happening to kids' taste buds. Because during COVID, I was one of those people who lost their sense of smell and taste. But regardless of that, your tongue can still get a feel for something if it's really salty, spicy, stuff like that. So during those 6 or 7 weeks of having no smell or taste, the only way I can enjoy food is by dousing it in hot sauce or getting super salty things, which I knew wasn't great, wasn't ideal for me. But if you haven't gone weeks without being able to taste food, I can't really describe how fucking depressing that is. Yeah, I was cool with just salt me up, whatever, it's fine. But I do wonder if something similar might have happened or might be happening to the kids, where they're so used to all this super salty, super sweet shit that these people pushing back on the lower sodium, they might be thinking, hey, if we can't add salt, the kids can't taste our shit because it doesn't taste like anything. No, we need that salt. I don't know. I'm just guessing here. But this kind of sucks because a lot of kids, especially the poor ones, they rely on those meals to eat. Some parents are broke and the only way their kids can get half their meals is by going to school. So if the food is shit, it's not great. Even though 2/3 of parents, they doubt the health, they doubt the nutrition of these meals. It's like, hey, you get subpar food or you fucking starve. It's one or the other. So they have to make that call. And part of what makes this food bad is it's just the money thing. They save money by making food as shitty as possible. And they also suffer from budget cuts, apparently, a lot of these schools. For example, New York City, it's apparently a problem with moldy chicken, which I'm assuming is they don't have enough money to get new chicken in, so they have to keep what they have longer and it gets moldy, which I believe. So that's wild. And remember, I mentioned earlier the school lunch. For me, if you paid for it, it was $150 about 20-ish years ago. Apparently now it's at about $295, depending on where you are, of course. But that might not sound like a humongous jump in about 20-ish years, but think about it this way. It doubled, at least. So that's not great. Now, there's a stat here that says universal free meals boost test scores in math and English language arts, and also boost participation. That's interesting to me. If I had to guess why that's the case, is because food is fuel. And if it's not good fuel, your brain's not going to work. You're going to be tired. So that makes sense. Here's a fun stat. 74% of schools report students skipping meals entirely due to stigma or the dislike of options. That's interesting because I totally forgot about this. If you had to get school lunch after a certain point, I think it was in high school, if you got school lunches, you were seen as broke, poor. If you didn't have enough money to order Chinese food to come to the back lot of the school and to pick up, you were broke. It wasn't crazy. You wouldn't get bullied for it, but they were like, you can't afford takeout. Interesting, Brokey. Totally forgot about that. So some kids are just starving themselves because they don't want to seem poor, which is a completely separate issue. But the other thing is they dislike the options. So even kids, even dumb kids are realizing that this food is dog shit. So they're just not eating. Now, again, this is going to go back into, we're talking about academics. So if your body doesn't get fuel, your brain doesn't get fuel, it's not going to function properly, which means these kids are going to have a hard time retaining this knowledge and actually learning. And if they don't have the proper fuel, their energy is going to suffer too. There's the common joke, the class is so boring, kids are falling asleep all the time. Now, yeah, a lot of classes are boring, for sure. But now that I'm older and know more about nutrition, I do wonder how much of that problem of kids falling asleep in class is due to the boring classes or due to them not eating or not getting enough energy from this dog shit food. Because if they're not getting proper energy, they're just not going to be able to sustain their consciousness. They're just going to fall asleep because they don't have the energy to stay up, which is pretty wild when you think about it. This food being of such low quality is making kids dumber. It's actually pretty insane. So this is America. Let me compare it to another country. Let's talk about Japan. It's time for the weekly Japan dick sucking. That's okay because they deserve it. So in Japan, 99.7% of public elementary schools offer school meals. So all of them. Now this is the cool part. In 1954, there's a School Lunch Program Act, which mandated that all public schools provide safe and nutritious lunches. There's a difference here. Some people might read that and say, yeah, it's good then, right? No. Something can be safe, but not give the kids any nutrients whatsoever. That's why I really like it that the mandate is for safe and nutritious. So not only is it not toxic, which is the absolute fucking bare minimum, but it's also nutritious, which is awesome. It actually helps. And even better, in 2005, they established the Basic Act on Shokuiku, which is nutrition education, as a national priority. Can you imagine if we prioritize nutrition in the US? Wouldn't it be wild? So what this means is that the food that they're eating, the school lunches, are kind of part of the curriculum. Like they learn about nutrition. As in they understand the food, they understand if it's good for them or not. Some of these schools even have farms that the kids participate in, which is cool. I don't think that's super common in the cities, but in general, that does exist, which is really cool. They even have dedicated nutrition teachers at these schools, oftentimes, that oversee the meal planning and make sure it's good. Can you imagine that here? What this all means is that the meals are they're great. Like they're balanced, they're healthy, they're good. They got the rice, the fish, the seasonal vegetables, the soup, fruit, whatever. What this all means is that they eat, the kids, and they understand that they're eating well, and that helps maintain a very low childhood obesity rate. And I've been to Japan. I did not see a fat kid. I didn't see that many kids there, but the kids I saw were not fat. They were normal, running around. Even for adults, I didn't see many fat adults. When I saw a fat adult, I can tell that they were, I'm not going to say American, but they were a tourist. Every time. So I'd say it's working out for them over there. Now let's bring it back to the ghetto in America. Kids are eating shit. It's going to make them dumb. When they do poorly in school, probably going to be broke because they're too dumb to get a good job. So school lunches in general going to make your kid fat, dumb, and broke. It's actually a huge fucking problem. Now that we're connecting all these things, it's actually a big deal. What can be done to make your kids survive this? How can they make it? To be honest, there needs to be systemic change in the school nutrition system in America, which might happen. I don't know. There's been recent big changes in the health industry in our country. So recent that there haven't been huge sweeping changes as of yet. It's a possibility, but I would really advise you to not wait on the government to help you out. The biggest thing you can do to make sure your kids aren't getting fucking poisoned every day is to meal prep. Yes. They got to bring their lunch. They got to be that kid. They got to bring their lunch. That is the best way to avoid the shitty school lunches. Them bringing their own. So if you have kids, try cooking for your kids or something. Don't buy fucking Lunchables if you can avoid it. It's the same shit as school lunch. I would advise you meal prep, maybe meal prep for yourself and your kids. That'd be cool, right? Even fucking better if you can. This is a big ask, but wouldn't it be really cool if you taught your kid how to cook? And they can meal prep for themselves. Wouldn't that be fucking insanely cool? I know a lot of parents are going to say, I don't got time for that, blah, blah. I get it. But if you make the time, you can possibly give more time to your kid's life later by having them not be fucking poisoned and have stupid ass food nutrition knowledge. Just a thought. The trade might be worth it. Maybe. I do think that's the best option. Like I'm saying, this is a systemic problem. So it's not, oh man, you can definitely do this. Hey, go to school and don't eat the bad shit. Yeah, then you'll starve to death. So the best thing to do is just to bring your lunch. That's the best way. And to not bring garbage lunch either. And one thing that would also be cool for the schools to do, aside from change their whole lunch system, is to include nutrition in health class. I don't know if they did that when I was growing up, but I don't remember jack shit. And if they taught anything worth a damn, I wouldn't have been close to 250 pounds in high school. So I don't think they taught anything important in regards to nutrition, but I could be wrong. Excuse me. They teach the food pyramid, the super important, super fucking bullshit propaganda. God, that should be a whole nother episode. Just the fucking food pyramid. But just very quickly, the food pyramid has no real... It's more like, hey, who paid the most? Which companies behind these food groups paid the most for this? It's not necessarily, oh, these provide the most nutrients and blah, blah, blah. No, it's not like that. Please don't think it is. I think they still run with that propaganda in schools. I'm sure it informs the school lunches too. Anyway, you better start packing your kids' lunch or you'll be packing their diabetes meds. Anyway, see you next time.